Welcome to Hitman Boxing. Hit that like and subscribe button. So last night, we saw the Anthony Joshua versus Carlos Takam fight. Anthony Joshua won the fight by 10th round TKO, 10th round referee stoppage. Now, in my opinion, Anthony Joshua won pretty much all the rounds against Takam. There was a point in the fight, second round, where Takam hit Joshua with a headbutt and maybe seemingly broke his nose. And, that was giving Joshua a lot of problems. And I thought he was going to be a little bit more urgent with his pressure. And he did show some urgency in spots, but he mainly boxed. Fourth round, that's when Joshua started hitting him clean. I believe he dropped Takam in the fourth round. I believe it was an uppercut. No, it wasn't an uppercut. It was like a hook to his right eye that opened up a really bad cut over Takam's eye. So I thought they were going to stop the fight at that point because this dude was just streaming blood for, most of the rest of that round. And just for the rounds to come, he kept on pawing at it. And it looked bad. The doctors had looked at it a couple of times throughout the fight, but they never stopped it. Now during the later rounds, we're talking 8, 9, 10, you could tell Joshua was slowing down a bit, but I still had him winning the rounds. And, just to be honest, I thought the stoppage was too early in the 10th round. Takam, he did go down in the fourth round, but, he was still kind of, I don't know, he was still in the fight, man. I don't like the stoppage. I didn't like that stoppage at all. He was taking a barrage of punches, but he wasn't getting staggered by those punches. I guess maybe I can see why the referee may have stopped it because, maybe for another couple of rounds he was going to start taking the same amount of punishment. But I really think that Joshua would have slowed down, and I think this fight would have won 12 rounds. This fight should have been 12 rounds. They should have allowed Takam to go the 12 rounds against Joshua. That's, of course, if he would have made it out the next two. But, personally, I think he would have made it out. And, again, he wasn't really winning any rounds. I had Joshua. It was a landslide victory, according to me. But I don't know what's up with the referee. A lot of people are screaming conspiracy theory stuff. I don't know. But I do know this dude Joshua got a perfect knockout record now, or still, when he really shouldn't. Takam seemed like he was going to be able to prevail and continue on. It's a shame that happened, but hey, it is what it is. It's what we have to deal with. Now, with regard to Wilder, I'm not going to make a separate video about that. I'll talk about that right now. In the post-fight interview, I was not pleased with what I heard from Anthony Joshua when they asked him about Deontay Wilder. In fact, to my surprisement, when he asked the crowd who they want him to fight next, they were all screaming Wilder. And that was to my surprise. I didn't expect that. But I would assume that UK fans are pretty smart and know who Wilder is, right? Especially the last few weeks with all the back and forth that they've been, going through. So, again, Anthony Joshua's his body language, the way he was talking about that fight, bringing up the fact that he's got mandatories, and, it seems like he was deflecting the question. It seems like he doesn't want to fight Deontay Wilder. It seems like he's not ready for Wilder, personally. And if you listen to Eddie Hearn wants to fight more so than Anthony Joshua does. I don't know. It's just, whenever they bring up Anthony Joshua, for example, last night, he just seemed a little uncomfortable. He was deflecting, and it was kind of sickening, in my opinion. Now, this wasn't one of Anthony Joshua's best performances. Clearly, he had minimal time to prepare for this fight. So, he had been preparing for Pulev all that time. He dropped out. Then we had Takam come in. And, of course, Takam is a tough, durable fighter. He can box. He's got a chin, man. He wasn't going out. He wasn't going to be knocked out that night, man. But I would have liked to see Takam get knocked out. But that, he got the TKO, which is whack. I think TKOs are trash. A stoppage should be when a guy's laid out on his back, sleeping. But anyway, let me know what you guys thought of the fight between Anthony Joshua and Carlos Takam. I believe that they're talking about a rematch between the two, and I really don't want to see a rematch between Joshua and Takam. It was nice to see the contrast between what Anthony Joshua and Joseph Parker did against the same opponent. I would assume that, and I've heard that Luis Ortiz, I mean, he really hasn't been dropped from the WBA rankings, so he could be next for Anthony Joshua, depending upon, you know, how things move along in 2018 with regard to WBA and Luis Ortiz. It'll be an interesting fight, man. But, you know, the fight we all want to see is Wilder versus Joshua. You know, as far as Dillian White fighting Deontay Wilder, now, do you guys believe me when I say Deontay Wilder will knock Dillian White out? He did not look impressive at all in his fight last night. Not impressive at all. So, I don't know. The ball's in Wilder's court. I mean, I've heard that he's going into negotiations with Dillian White. I don't know. We'll have to see. Apparently, Dillian White is free February 3rd, and Eddie Hearn has offered that fight to Deontay Wilder in the meantime. Now, Deontay Wilder's got a fight with Bermain Stavern coming up next month. Or should I say November? Apologies, we're still in... Oh, no. When is it, December? Oh, no, it's in November. My bad, guys. So, yeah, Bermain Stavern, Deontay Wilder next month. It should be an interesting fight for however long it lasts. I really believe he's going to stop Bermain Stavern in the second fight. And then he can move on to bigger and better things, you know. Maybe get one more fight. And then after that fight, he can get a fight with Joshua. I mean, when is this guy going to be ready? So, let's make it happen. Good fight for boxing. Hitman Boxing. Drop a comment, like the video, subscribe, and I'm out.